And we are live. Welcome back to That's So Contra. Couldn't even say the name right. Dirt. See, that's the beauty about going live. Bloopers, bro. Bloopers. Live
Word.
bloopers. Welcome.
They not bloopers if they live though.
That's true. That's so true, man. So welcome back to That's So Controversial. Today I have with me a good friend of mine, the Renaissance TBO, the blessed one. Thank you for coming in today. I really, really appreciate it. He's actually has his own podcast called Buy the Ticket, also known also could be found at YouTube by what is it?
Awareness.
Conspiracy of Awareness. You can find the link in the description to this video today. It is live. Hit him up, check him out, show him some love, man.
Yes.
So we got our usual day ones that'll show up in a little bit. So today we're talking about retirement, man. Retirement. Do you look forward to it?
What's that?
He said, what is that?
Can we afford to?
Yeah, exactly.
Even
it's
though
something that
I moved to the retirement state though.
Right. I guess so, right? You started early.
Yeah, I tried to.
Yeah,
Florida's been a blessing.
That's awesome, man. I got my in-laws out there, so eventually we're gonna be out there too at some point.
Oh, word? Where they living at?
They live in what is it, St. Cloud near Orlando?
Oh, okay. I know where they at. Yeah, I know where they at.
Shit, they in Florida.
Pretty residential.
Yeah. Yeah. So is is retirement something that you look forward to?
I guess my concept of retirement, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Right. And what is that?
I don't think I could ever just stop straight up working.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say my concept of retirement, I've been to islands, I've traveled, I think my vision of retirement will be isolation. Like isolation. From a lot of people.
It's an unplug, disconnect, and say deuces.
Pretty much, because you look at from where we're from, our childhood, we were that bridge between electronics and nothing. Like we still remember core phones in our house. Remember not having cell phones. Mm-hmm. And we also remember being a teenager with a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? So we're that middle age. So I actually missed that time of not having a cell phone, not being able to be reached at any moment of any fucking day. I actually missed those times. So being able to move to an isolated cabin in the woods, nearest neighbor, like 25 miles away, no one talking, nothing but straight wilderness. That's my ideal retirement, isolation, just straight away from everyone.
And when do you think you'll be able to achieve that? Like, what's going to set that foundation for you to be able to do that?
Well, living in the world we're living in, things have changed from just last year and a half. So whatever game plan you had to switch that up a year and a half ago.
Yeah, it's so true. And I definitely had. Did you find yourself pivoting with the thing, or you find yourself like in that limbo space? Like, damn, what am I supposed to do now?
I think we've learned to always adapt to the situations. You know what I'm saying? I grew up poor. You grew up poor. If you don't adapt, you died.
Dirt poor.
You know what I'm saying? So we had no option. So when shit like this happens, we can easily switch gears to the new norm. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? For us, is a good thing because, we can flip. But probably the people who enjoy lives with us don't look at it the same way. Right. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they going through stress we don't go through.
It's funny how you bring up growing up poor, because I think that being poor, right? And we have our family members, our parents, like they have a different perception of what retirement is and should be. They tell us to get jobs or good pensions, do your 20, 30 years and then retire, right? And that's why we have that mindset of always trying to, look for that job and stick to it for 20, 30 years. But, you give it up more than half of your life to retire at 67 based on those ideals, right? And then what are you going to do? Are you really going to enjoy retirement when your bones are hurting and you need a walker? You need someone else to clean your ass for you type shit?
You're 100% right about that shit. Do you actually want to retire? Enjoy life now where you're young and can embrace it, or put money away from your old infringement, like brick.
Yeah, and it's funny because I got this topic I actually got from one of my boys, Miguel Sanchez. He was talking about retirement and how people think about it.
Okay.
And one of the ideas that they had mentioned was how we should set up our kids to be able to do what they do what they want to do with their life instead of trying to work to retire later on in life. And one of the concepts they mentioned was like, if we could have $6,000 for our kids by the time they're 14 in an IRA that produces 12% return, by the time they're 67, they will have their retirement. That $6,000 should be close to $1 million. So if you do that for them, you give them the opportunity to do whatever the hell they want with their life and actually pursue their passions. And it's that frame of thinking that we need to change, so that we're not, our kids don't fall in the same traps that we are, looking for that everybody wants to be a firefighter or a police officer, not because they want to help people or they want to be a public service. They do it for the retirement. Ask any police officer why he's a cop. He want to do his 20, get out, collect that young pension, and do something else with their life. They end up having a second career, doing something else for the other 20, 30, 40 years of their lives.
Yeah, bullshit, run a bodega or something. But
it's so true though.
That concept, but here's the thing: you put away $6,000. What makes us believe our child is actually going to hold that to their 67 years old?
Oh no, it stays in the IRA, bro. It's for their retirement. It's from 14 to 67.
I've learned a long time ago you can get out of anything if you want to.
That's so true. No,
There's
it's true.
always
It's
penalties,
true.
but you can get out of it.
Yes, absolutely. So that's where you got to be more, diligent and understand that, there's a bigger picture.
I looked at it like my childhood. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't experience a lot of locations. Like I stood in New York City till I was about 21 years old. 21 was the first time I left the country. You know what I'm saying? And I experienced a different country. I experienced this. I said, hold on, look at what I'm missing. So I decided to flip it a little bit. I took my kids, when they reached age, I had them experience shit. I took them places. You do this, you do that. I wanted them to experience life early so they can have whatever choices they want. They know what the world can give them. They can't say they've only been in this city for all this and then want to spend and splurge. You know what I'm saying? Right. So if I'm spending my money for them to experience all these joys in life and they can remember it, because I'm a big thing on not taking a kid too young so they can't remember it. Like I don't want to take a 2-year-old to Disney World. By the time he's 6, he's not going to remember that. That's
so true. That is so true. I can't stand people who try to do that. Because that's for you. That's for the pictures to put on.
Exactly.
That's for the pictures on your Instagram.
That's for your Facebook. Yeah. So I'm big on that. Let me do it when they're 10. Because when they're 20, they're still going to remember that trip when they were 10.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I'm taking my daughter to Puerto Rico. My son's been to Dominican Republic. They've been to islands. They've been to beaches. They've seen all these things. So now they're looking at life a little different. Now they're not a rush to get out the country. They already experienced it. You know what I'm saying?
I've never left the country. I don't even have I was about to say green card. I don't even have a passport. I don't even have a passport, man. So yeah, something I definitely want to do.
See, but this is where, as a father and as a parent, you're switching your motivation. So now it's, you've never left the country, and your son is how old now?
He is going to be 9.
So now you can start making those trips or making those plans, because now it's your first trip, and now you're going to look at, damn, my first trip could be with my son. It's going to be his first trip too now. So now when he's your age, he's looking at differently from what you're doing now.
See, people jumped on what I said. See, I am illegal because I don't even have a green card.
First off,
yeah, right.
Where his family from is still considered part of this country.
Yeah, no, they're messing around.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I gotta have you back, though.
Yeah. Another question that is important about retirement is like, because you got to worry about, how far you can stretch your dollar. So a lot of people retire to like Thailand and stuff like that, because if I don't want to misquote, but if I remember correctly, you could live like a king at $800 a month in Thailand. Like that shit is kind of crazy. I'm talking about
my first experience to the concept of the American dollar going further than other places
Mhm.
was my first trip to the Dominican Republic. So
Oh,
I was
really?
with my son's mother at the time, and I asked her, we go over there for a week. First time out of the country, she's been to DR a whole bunch of times. I'm like, how much
Mhm.
money do I need to bring with me? Like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. She's like, oh, don't worry, bring $400.
$400.
I was like, what is wrong with you? I thought maybe, her parents were planning to treat us, you know what I'm saying? It's their
Right.
country. So I said, all right, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
I came back home with $200 in my pocket.
That's crazy.
We went
That's crazy.
resorts. We went every day out to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We went clubbing. We went like it was ridiculous that we did the amount of shit we did in 7 days, and I
With
still came home with $200 just because the currency exchange was so much different. So I can see why people would go to Thailand. They would go to it's mostly like these places that are considered third world countries because that's where the dollar will go the furthest. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So
yeah.
it's definitely a thought, but would you really change your life that much?
Uh, I mean, if it's gonna improve the quality of life, why not, right? If your kids are done and they doing their own thing, yo, come visit me as Thailand, 'cause that's where I'll be chilling.
Okay. This is, I think you're going to need this for a topic sooner. What is
Uh,
your thought of quality of life?
exactly. I like
Because
that.
if you saying quality of life, Thailand's quality of life is completely different from ours.
Right.
We're used to certain things that we take for granted that those places don't have. So is it really a better quality of life? Yeah, you can afford better things,
Right. Right. That's the
but
whole
are
thing
you
about it.
really living in a better place?
Right. You go out to eat and you got to deal with those gorillas out there.
That's what
Not
I'm
the
saying.
animal.
The animal and the army.
Yeah, so you got they see people that's not from their country. They consider you American. They think you have money. They kidnap you, your kid. Those are real dangers also to think about.
That's what I'm saying. Look, just right across the border in Mexico, you have shit like
Mhm.
that. Like when you go over
Man,
there to
that's
visit,
crazy.
you can't even leave the resort because you might disappear.
That's crazy. That's scary. See, why even do that? Why even go
But
there?
but yet our dollar converts to more money over there.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
So you can
crazy.
have
Yeah.
a house with mad land, with a ranch and all that shit. But if you leave your ranch, you might disappear.
That's true. You also got to consider like weathers and stuff like that, because like people like to go to LA and stuff like that. When you have a higher cost of living that you can afford to,
Hmm.
but you got to trade in like New York's four seasons for hurricanes and not hurricanes. What do you call it?
You got the forest fires,
Earthquakes. Yeah, the earthquakes and forest
earthquakes,
fires.
forest fires. Yeah. What is it? Water droughts.
Yeah, so those are things to consider also.
Yeah. So you tell me.
I don't know, man.
What are you looking for in retirement is the question.
Me, I don't like. I'm trying to change my whole perception of what retirement is, like we were talking about earlier, right? I
Okay.
used to think that I wanted to get that 20-year job with the pension and stuff like that, but now I'm looking more into like investments, stocks, stuff like
Okay.
that, and I just recently started doing that maybe like a month ago with all the stuff that was going on with the
GameStop.
GameStop, yeah. So that little frenzy kind of put a battery in my back to look into that kind of stuff. While that's not unlikely, that's not the norm. It is something that's possible if you invest in something early. Like for example, like a
Very true.
Bitcoin. Bitcoin in 2009 was pennies, bro. Pennies. Could you imagine if you would have just bought $100 of Bitcoin in 2009? You would have been
It'd be
set right
over.
now.
Yeah,
Set.
it'll be over. Yeah.
Set. So that's another way of thinking of thinking about retirement. Investing. In real estate, stocks, whatever the case may be. It's much more better than just having your money sit in the bank and not basically making 0% interest on very minimal interest. It's just sitting
True,
there.
but it's a catch-22 because at
Yes,
least in the
yes,
bank, your money's guaranteed safe when in the
yeah,
stock it
exactly.
isn't.
You got the up and down thing, right? No, that's you definitely got to do your homework, man. You only invest in the things that that you believe in, that you support, and that have longevity, have legs. The apples, the Amazons of the world,
But they're also, the amount of money just to get 1% of stock in those right now.
Well, no, but that's fine. That's fine because whatever you thinking of it in terms of an actual share, you can still have a fraction of a share. So, like if you have $100 worth of that stock, right, you're still going to get a percentage of whatever growth they get. So if it goes up, if the stock goes up 20%, your money goes up 20%.
Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right.
It's a concept.
So
I want to hit up.
It definitely is. You I don't know. You want to get it?
No, a lot of people don't. No, a lot of people don't want to do it, man. It's scary. A lot of people don't like the idea of the money going down, even though it's like this.
When it comes to stock, it's not so much the money going down, but to me, stock is one of those things that either you're into it or you're not. And if you're not into it, do you really trust someone else to manage your money and invest it in the right locations?
You can do it yourself with all these apps.
You could do it yourself, but it's still time consuming. You need to pay attention.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that's
I'm learning this.
Yeah, it's very time consuming. So it's like I was a general manager at a hotel in New York, and I used to have these conversations with the people who worked with the 401k and stuff like that, and learning how they invest it for you. Because with your own 401k, they can invest your money as well to make it increase higher. So that's another route you can go. You don't necessarily have to do the stock yourself. You can have your own 401k, your own retirement money that you're already putting away, have them invest that for you. So that's another way you can double your money. But I got trust issues. I work too hard for my money. I get it. Someone else.
No, not for nothing. A lot of people think like that. A lot of people think. My wife included, bro. She's like, hell no. She's like, not on my watch.
Hold on. It's like, if you go back 3 years ago, would you have thought the world is where it is right now?
Hell no. Nobody could have predicted this. Nobody. Exactly. Nobody.
The last year has been straight out of a movie. So if that's been straight out of a movie, nigga, I'm keeping my cash liquid because everything might go down.
You got your cash under the mattress, right?
Don't put my address up nowhere here. Listen, I got a big dog. I got a shotgun. Guns illegal in Florida.
That's right. So people just don't want to lose their money, and I get it. I definitely get it 100%, man. 100%. So, I get. What you say?
Waiting for you to.
No. What do you call it? I was looking at this retirement calculator at nerdwallet.com, and it tells you pretty much, it gives you an idea of what you should save in order to retire at the age of 67, right?
Okay.
So, hold on. I'm gonna see if I could share this shit right quick. Give me a second. I'm gonna put some numbers in this thing. Okay, where is it? Bam.
This is also the thing. Like we got screwed as a generation.
Explain.
Okay, our parents had the opportunity to basically have any city job with no issue. All you basically had to do was apply.
Yep.
The moment we hit 18, you need a high school diploma, you need a 1-year degree in college, you need an associate's. So we got screwed. Meanwhile, I know people who had no high school diploma, but retired 20 years plus from 3 city jobs. 3.
Wow.
So they got 3 pensions.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Did we not get screwed?
Sounds like it. Yeah, they keep pushing. They keep pushing the. I mean, but do I want to work 3 jobs? I don't know if I want to work 3 jobs.
You don't want to work 3 jobs, but at the same time, he didn't work all 3 at the same time. Like he worked 2 at once, and then when he retired from one, he picked up another one.
Right, and that's
so he basically retired from I think it was
3 different jobs.
6 years old with 3.
Oh, 56?
It was some shit like that. Yeah.
Wow, that's dope. Yeah, because once you're fully vested in a job, you don't need to have the whole 20 years to retire. Most jobs, after you invested 5 years, you get a pension from them. It might not be a maxed out pension, but it's something.
That's exactly what he did. I think one job he only stayed, I think it was at 10 years. And then the other 2, he worked 20 fully.
That's crazy. All right, we're gonna check out this calculator real quick. Let's just say, for example, where it says here, it says if you start at 35 years old and you have an income of about $60,000 pre-tax, and let's say you have zero savings, which a lot of us are in that predicament.
100%. Let's not lie.
And let's say you try to save, we're gonna say $500 a month. I think it's pretty realistic. So what this thing shows is that you're still in the red right here. You're only 40% towards your goal in order to retire, and you would need, they try to adjust for inflation right here. At the age of 67, you need $1.73 million to retire, with this at 67 years old.
I want to say this, at 67 years old, why do you need that much money?
Because they assume you're gonna live to about how
much more life you got left?
No, but they take that into consideration. I guess from the age of 67 to maybe 75 or 80, depending on what the average mortality rate is.
Oof. So let's just round off and say mortality rate is 85, right?
Right.
So at 67, you're gonna retire with $1.7 million. That's not chump change. That's not chump change. Mm-hmm. So you basically got what, another 23 years? 20 years, yeah. Something like that. 20 years that you're too old to do anything. Your bones are gonna fucking break. You probably got diabetes. You probably got high blood pressure. You can't. That's a lot of money. You want. It's a lot of money that you can't do nothing with because you're too old to do it.
What about health benefits and stuff like that? You still got to pay rent or a mortgage if you didn't pay for your house by then. There's a lot of things that you got to factor in.
You assuming you got a house. A lot of people don't. That's an assumption. A lot of people have apartments. Most apartments, by the time you reach a certain age, you're getting into, they can't raise your rent no more and all that bullshit. So there's a lot of retirement is a very tricky thing because you don't want to do it too old. To me, 67 is too old.
Right. Definitely.
You want to retire. Like, to me, sweet spot is 50.
Would be nice. Oh man, that'd be awesome.
That's what I'm saying.
But what are you gonna do in retirement? I want to hit up this comment real quick because I think it's real important. Mama says, she wishes that she started working when she was 17 and saved. She would be retired today. She wishes that high school taught me about saving, spending, investing in finances, which I think is huge. I had this conversation with a few of my friends. That schools don't teach us the essential skills for life. Things that we actually need to actually become, sufficient human beings. I've never used calculus a day in my life. I've never used algebra in my adult life. Even that's in my life. I've used addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division on a daily basis. Anything outside of that was a waste of my life. I was stressed. I hated math. I was like, why do I need to know about standard deviations? I don't, these long ass freaking formulas to spend 10, 15 minutes trying to figure out I'm never going to use that in my life. It's not going to be in my field. It's not going to be in the majority of our fields for the most part. Yeah. So, schools need to, I think that's very important what she said. Thank you for that comment, Marlene. Really, really appreciate it. I think that's so important, man. Like, schools really need to take because it's something that it's something that I'm starting to teach my son now at 8 years old about credit and about investing and about saving and stuff. He's interested in it. You were saying?
Yeah. You definitely got to do that because you got to look. When you start high school, you can get your working papers. So when you start as a freshman, you get your working papers. You're not going to teach me what I can do with this money. Like, there's everything I do in the school. You make me take a home ec class, whatever. When my mother shows me how to cook better than you did in here. Like, do I really need to know how to bake a cake when the instructions are in the back?
I like that. That's so true, man.
You didn't teach me how to balance a checkbook.
Way more valuable as an individual. Way more valuable.
What you could probably do in two classes, two periods. You can basically do. You know what I'm saying? It's not hard, but they weren't taught. Our parents weren't taught. Like I said, we're that bridge gap of generation that credit is more important now than it ever was in the past.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And because we weren't taught that, we're screwed.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? How many of us had phones under our names at a young age? which we shouldn't legally be able to do.
Right. Cables,
Yeah.
electricity.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And our parents didn't think nothing of it. Why? Because credit wasn't important to them.
Right.
Because it
Exactly.
didn't exist. It was straight cash. You know what I'm saying? Bank accounts
Right.
didn't exist. But now
It
they
didn't mean
do.
nothing.
So now we got to
Now,
teach our kids. We
yeah,
definitely got to teach our kids. Man.
yeah, they're using credit as a form, as a way to for employment now. Even so, it's gotten that important. And you
Yeah.
know what? Not for
Which to
nothing.
me
Like,
is kind of crazy.
yeah, it is. It's like, what does my ability to pay my bills have to do with my ability to get my ass up in the morning? I guess they try to correlate it to responsibility, right?
True. Okay. They could, but at the same time, like to me, it depends on the job you're applying for. Like if I'm working in an
Right.
armored truck, okay, you don't want me to have bad credit. I might make the truck disappear with all the money. I get that. But if I'm applying for, say, fucking Foot Locker, what the fuck you gotta check my credit for? Like,
Right.
it makes no damn sense. Like to me, the way this country, because that's not in every country, the way this country tries to, I guess, control the best way to put it. Certain aspects of our lives is kind of ridiculous because that's another thing when minorities, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to control us. So we weren't raised, we got to teach our kids, but at the same time, we're struggling understanding it ourselves. But yet we got to teach our kids and make sure they learn the right way. So we got to get it down packed ourselves. We got to make the mistakes. We got to make the errors so our kids don't make them. So
Absolutely,
we're always working from 2 steps back.
Yeah, it's generational, man. It's funny. This person right here, your son, she's actually a school teacher. And she says, "I'm a grown person. I still don't understand investments. She'll be poor forever." you better start learning now.
It's really not that hard as you think. It really isn't that hard. It just if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. You get it. It really it takes a certain type of person.
Yeah, you should definitely take the time to try to learn it though, which is what I'm doing now. It's like later in my life, I'm trying to figure this stuff out, and there is high risk, high rewards, but it's something that you have to learn, man. It's a whole different language. It's like trying to learn how to speak a different language. You got it's a lot, like you said, it's a lot of work for sure.
They should have taught us that instead of calculus.
Yeah, right. Exactly, man. Stupid things they teach you in school, like.
Board of Education. That's what happened. I'm pretty sure if you went to a private school somewhere along the line, if you went to private school from 1st grade all the way to 12th, along the line, they taught them something.
I'm sure. I wonder. I've never been to private school. Right.
Yeah, I knew a few people, but at the time I never thought to ask.
Right. No, because it wasn't important to us. That's exactly what it is. We were worried about the pension jobs. That's what our parents are teaching us.
Exactly.
I like what Press One says
here. Going to survive.
Yep. I like what Press One actually says here too, is that we can't look at retirement as an individual plan if you have a family also. That's another very, very good point, man. You can't just think about how much I need to survive. It's going to be how much do you need for you, your wife, your kids, just in case,
That's another question. When so from the moment your son was born, right?
I had a plan. That plan went out the window.
It always goes out the window. I learned that with my daughter, and we had kids at 2 different ages. How were you when you had your son?
33.
I was going on 17 when I had my daughter.
Wow,
I was crazy. Still a kid.
Yes.
So in some ways, I'm ahead of you only because I had to start a whole lot quicker.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
You're forced to learn.
My daughter's literally going on 20 years old in March.
Wow, God bless, bro. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it was rough doing it that young, but at the same time, it's what I needed. But I started to pick up these things that I had learned along the way, and I was trying to see how can I impart that to her without it, really hurting her or her being shied away from it. So there's certain times for her birthday, I'd be like, okay, here's a test. Like I think when she was, I want to say it was 15 years old. Yeah, she was 15. I was like, here's $1,000.
Okay.
At 15, 16, even 17, seeing $1,000 in my hand was a lot.
Oh, hell yeah. Today.
So I go like this. I go, here's $1,000. What do you want? What do you want to do with this? This is for you to do the stuff you need. Just think about this. Her birthday's in March. So I was like, think about this. What do you want to do with this? So I want to put it in the bank. Smart choice. Smart choice. And
Nice.
that $1,000 literally lasted her 7 months.
Wow, that's impressive for a teenager, man.
Would that have been us? Would we have been able to hold that $1,000?
Now we would have bought some dumbass Jordans that were overpriced, a jersey that was overpriced, some shorts that were overpriced, and we've been
Shit,
broke
we
in
would
2
still
days.
do now.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's
So
just
I'm
crazy,
like,
man.
okay, so those lessons of how to use your money, you picked up on. Everything I was imparting, she learned. So now I'm less worried about her future. So because
Mhm.
I'm less worried about her future, because the lessons I wanted her to learn, she did learn. Does that still mean I gotta worry about her when I'm planning to retire? Do I
I
still
don't
gotta
know.
leave her some money? She should have had a whole lot of money already.
uh, hopefully she took the skills that you imparted to her and
Yeah,
does something with it.
she did.
Press
She
is
got a
making
very small head on her head.
no
Oh,
Press is
shoulders, I should say.
dropping some serious gems here today. So he goes again. He has this is so true. Also, we have to also change our mindset and become owners of businesses and homes instead of being employees and trading our time for money. And that's another huge thing. That's absolutely, and I think that's something that this whole COVID pandemic thing really like banged into my system. It's taught me that I had to pivot, put myself in uncomfortable places to try new things. Like
Mhm.
this podcast is absolutely one of them. If we go back to my first show, I was scared to death. I was nervous. Yo, my heart was beating. I didn't know what I was doing. I just jumped into the fire with 2 feet and said, F it.
That's
Whatever
what you gotta
happens,
do.
happens.
That's what you
And
gotta do.
it's like you definitely got to change your mindset. You have to force change and just do something differently. Because if we keep going the way we did with in the old ways, we're never gonna
Mhm.
change.
Yeah. But that's another thing that's put against us. Opening businesses. From state to
Yeah.
state, one is different. The rules and regulations, the licenses, everything you need. Let's talk about. I know one of your previous shows was legal marijuana, right?
Right. Hmm.
To have fun. So in the state of California, to be able to open up a store and sell weed, you got to have $5 million in your bank for more than 6 months. You gotta pay like 6 taxes on a dollar. So as a company, when you make $1 on a sale, they don't tax you for that dollar. They tax you after you take percentages of paying your employees and whatever. So it ends up 80 cents, right?
Right.
They tax you on 80 cents, not the dollar. But in California, on the weed, they tax you for the dollar even after you paid all your employees when you only made 80 cents.
Oh wow. See, those are things you got to consider when you're gonna open up your business. Where you're gonna open it up. That's why a lot of people left California to Texas.
Texas,
The tax tricks are
Colorado,
created. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's one of these things that it was harder back in the day to learn these simple laws. It's easy to learn them now because the internet, everything's so accessible. But the resources you need to open up certain businesses where things could be more profitable for you and your family quicker and not so much long term is really hard. Like the resources you need is really hard. Like in New York, to get a liquor license is almost like $50,000.
For a liquor license,
Yeah, like if you want to open up a bar, or some shit, it's like $50,000.
I had no idea how that works. That's crazy. That is absolutely
Yeah,
100% bananas, man. Oh
this
shit.
it's not. I'm telling you,
Yo,
it's not that
you
simple, yo.
you told me it takes money to make money.
Yes,
Yeah,
and not all of us come from money. Like, don't get me wrong, we
exactly.
got that hustle. We got that hustle mentality, so we can
Right.
adapt quickly. But our adaptation options are very limited.
Right. Yo, Press is gonna have to jump on the show, son. He is dropping like
Yeah.
gems all day. Like this, again, this is something that I have through my job, which I'm very grateful. So he says, he believes each person needs to look into having life insurance policy for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
also, in case something happens, for your family, and that's so true because I've experienced that, and I gotta thank my mom for actually doing something. Because my mom made a lot of. She was like very irresponsible as far as money is concerned, and she made a lot of mistakes. And she grew up. We all grew up poor. You know my mom,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and towards the end of her life she ended up getting life insurance, which was just enough money to bury her. It was like $10,000, and we spent it all on burying her,
But
and
you
that
know
was
what?
a
She
huge
didn't
burden lifted
handicap
off
you
us.
guys.
Exactly, and that's so huge. We got my boy Fabian in the background about to join the conversation. Fabian, welcome. What's going on?
Fubu, what's good, brother?
Hello, Fabian.
Sorry, I had the mic
You
off.
too.
That's
There we go.
okay.
Sorry. How you guys doing?
We
We're
chilling,
doing well,
brother. We
man.
chilling.
I caught like about the last 5 minutes of the conversation. Um, well, maybe the 7 minutes. When you guys are just talking about the businesses and how hard it is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think us as I think Spanish and Black people, we don't really do that very well as far as coming together. More of like, you know, other races, like for example, like Mexicans, they all go to one house, they own a house, bust their ass, and then they all grab, like, let's say if it's 20 people living in a house, then everyone works really hard to build the next
True.
house or buy another house, and then they have 20 people live in that house until everybody has their own house.
Immigrants are
You know,
hard workers, man. That's
it's
one
just
thing that
crazy.
Yeah, but
it's
they're coming
crazy.
from a third world country like we spoke about retiring to. So if they're willing to come over here and bust their ass like that, do we really want to retire there?
Yeah, that's why a lot of that's why a lot of immigrant friends that I know they say they have they have certain they feel they don't like a lot of American people because they think that we're lazy. We don't take advantage of the resources that we have here. Like they are living the American dream while we're working, 8 hours a day. Like Press said, we're trading hours for cash. But and they're busting their ass. They come with the mindset of working hard, and they work harder than any of us, man. They'll put in 80 hours a week on a regular basis, but they
It's
have a end game in mind. It's not to get the latest kicks or
but
the latest clothing.
I
Yeah.
think the biggest issue with that is pride. Like
Yeah.
they have their pride in their family.
Hmm.
It's not so much if we gotta clean toilets, we clean toilets. They don't give a
Yep.
fuck. Us, we're like, nah, we too good for that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Because
We
we've
don't
been
want to
here.
build off from the bottom. Exactly. We've been here. What the fuck? I want to clean these toilets. I know what they look like. But yet they come.
Right.
Okay, I got it. Okay,
Yep.
I got it. Okay, I got. They don't look down on any kind of job, and I think that's what we do. No matter what situation we came from, we're either we're too prideful to do it, or we're just like fuck, too lazy to do it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that I wouldn't say for us three, it wasn't like that. We packed bags. Like we put shopping, you know what I mean? We worked hard. So
Right.
and having kids and telling them this, like, this is where we came from. And
Mm-hmm.
then we decided to learn how to work smarter, not harder. And then if we would have took the advices of people that really took us under their wing, like for example, I had, the manager named Andre, he was telling me
Right.
to invest into a 401k at the age of 16. If I would have did that then,
You'd be caked right
I would have had
now.
money now. You
Yeah.
understand? So,
For sure.
that's 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 money. That's
Yeah.
24 years later, I would have had some money put away
Yep.
for college funds or whatever the case may be, a house. But that's just you live and you learn and you just pass that knowledge on.
Yeah, you hope that you adapt and you learn. That's something I'm telling you. My son's gonna be 9. I'm having these conversations with him now, and now he's interested in investing. He talks about. I talk to him about investing whatever he gets now, like half of it to invest in it, and the other half do whatever he wants. So now he's interested. Now every day we'll sit down, we'll look at stocks. I'll show him how some of the money's going up, some of the money goes down, and he's like, he has a different perspective because we adopt Christian values. We're Christians
Of
for the
course.
most part. So
Okay.
gambling, he calls it gambling.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Exactly. He's not wrong, but I try to tell him that it's investing. And the gamble is in whether your money goes up and down. It's not like you're actually gambling. It's not like a scratch
It's not
off
really
or
a
playing lotto.
gamble. It's more of information. If you're really following the company and following the trend, you'll be able to, ride the coattails high instead
Exactly.
of hitting the lows. So
Yeah,
there's a little bit more
absolutely.
studying than actually scratching a ticket and go, oh, I won
Yeah.
$50.
more like I lost $500.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
man. Could you
nah,
imagine? My dad's been playing scratch and match for years. Imagine if he took that money and just invested it instead. What kind of fortune he would have? I'm talking about a fortune because he would spend like literally close to $100 a week on this stuff.
Yeah,
And
and
Tell my
people
mother
don't
that with
understand.
cigarettes. I tell my mother that with cigarettes all the time. I'm like, you went from in my youth probably smoking 2-3 packs a week, smoking
right.
cigarettes to now only smoking like 1 pack a week or 1 pack every 2 weeks because them shits is like $17 a pop. I'm like, but if you would have took all that money from when you was 12, 13 years old that you started smoking cigarettes to now, I wouldn't have to work.
Yo, cigarettes are $17 a pack.
Yeah, it's around there like $15, $16 up there in New York, some shit like that.
Something like that.
Wow,
Right.
that's crazy. I'm glad I
Because
don't smoke.
just because city tax and state tax.
State tax, yeah.
Right.
Because I know
You know,
down here in Florida, they're like $4 or $5 a pack. Because we got
God
state
bless
tax
you,
down
bro.
here.
Yo, there's your hustle right there. There's your hustle.
Take up cigarettes up there.
listen, a lot of people a lot of people go down to like Virginia or something like that, bring back a few cartons and then just sell them
Yeah.
for like $10 packs.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all ain't hear this buffet, man. I'm about to bring some cases. You know what I'm
Listen,
saying? We split the
you come,
profits.
you come around season time.
Tito, you might want to bleep this out, future guys.
Yeah.
Edit beep 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 beep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
On the recording, but you know.
I
Yeah,
get
go on. No,
I said my sister's giving me a shout out. That's what it was. She was like, "Yep, Rick definitely packed bags at the supermarket at the 10, and then got out of work and treated me to McDonald's and bought me posters after work. Been looking out for me ever since."
Listen,
Oh,
I'm younger than both of y'all niggas. Nigga, where my McDonald's, nigga?
Tito was so invested in packing bags that my appendix. I needed to go to the hospital, and my appendix was about to explode. I'm like, "Can you please take me?" He's like, "Nah, I'm working." And then Xavier was like, "Yo, come on, I got you." He took me. Oh,
So I guess you learned your lesson from that. Because I remember that time when he went to get the alley.
Oh, you remember that, right?
Landed on his wrist, and you threw this nigga on your shoulder
Your
like you was
shoulder,
a fucking trooper. Like you was Forrest Gump. I gotta find Bubba.
Thank you.
This nigga's out up the hill like this.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I redeemed myself. I don't know if you heard that.
no, I got kicked out. I was like, "Damn, this nigga kicked me off the cab."
No.
I mentioned how he must have learned his lessons from that because that time in fucking Cherry Tree when you fucking went for the alley, you fucked up, landed on your wrist. The nigga picked you up like he was Forrest Gump looking for fucking Bubba and was out.
I was like on his shoulders, like.
Meanwhile, I still got the ball in my hand and I'm in the park laughing because shit was hilarious. Meanwhile, this nigga's halfway up the hill already.
To this day, I tell that story, man.
Yeah. So not
that
again,
shit was
man.
Funny, man. That shit was funny. But you know, life is. I guess you gotta find a plan or find a situation that works best for you and what you plan to do in your area and situation around you. Because you know what I'm saying? Not everything is going to be correct for every person.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to really find what the fuck is going to work for you. It's just the game is rigged against us.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, we have to be as one. Like, to be honest with you, it's like we have so many resources within each other and so many, you guys probably have different networks. Like, Joey has the hotel business that he worked into. You got a lot of friends that you do this with. So it's just a lot of network out there. So it's
network
just
is the key, bro.
Using the resources that we have to basically to our advantage.
Yep. That's huge.
We do, but not only that, a lot of the resources are being taken away from us year to year. So we got to use them while we got them. You know what I'm saying? The resources our parents had, we didn't get. Our kids are going to have even less.
Right.
So we got to make sure that they learn and evolve in a way that they don't need nothing from no one.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That they're smart enough and wise enough to be able to make the right decision for themselves.
Right.
All right. I think I asked Renaissance this question earlier. So I'm gonna ask it to you. What are you doing in reference to like getting ready for retirement? What's your idea of retirement, and like what are your plans for it?
Oh man, I just
You're just thinking about it now. See, that's the problem.
It's crazy because honestly, I don't think I can ever retire from working.
Hmm.
Like, I can't. I just, like, if I do get something, it has to be that I'm passionate about, to the
Yes.
point that just gonna be, this is just me. Like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm never gonna stop working. But this is something that I want to stop working for someone else and just work for myself, because I'm
Yes.
gonna put more heart and dedication into that. And it's
Absolutely.
just because it's just naturally. But at the end of the day, I don't, like, when I'm on vacation, or if I'm out of work, like during quarantine, I was like pulling my hair, like I didn't know what to do. Like, I'm not used to not
Wow.
working.
So
It's
you're
not
gonna be
something
working
I'm
into
used
your
to.
70s?
I don't know, probably, but
See,
body's gonna be taking care of me. But
I
um,
think that's the dream, to be able to have our own business that we could go to work 3, 4 times a week for as long as we want, not someone
Exactly.
else's clock. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I guess that's the dream, because I
It,
can't see myself not working at all either.
it
It's
definitely is
almost
the dream.
impossible.
Definitely is the dream to just what's going on.
What's
Well,
going on, Fabian?
Yep.
what are your ideas and your concepts for retirement, young man?
Uh, Basically, like anybody else, just have it like a nice house, and the kids will be have a nice home for
Are you doing anything for that? Like, are you saving, or are you looking into investments or something? Are you doing? Do you think you have to the mindset to start making your kids think differently about retirement?
Nah, yeah. I mean, I haven't started asking them that yet because they're real young right now. I haven't really got to that subject with them yet.
No, but I think it's very important, 'cause they're not going to learn it from school. They're not going to learn it through anyone else besides you. Or
I
if
mean, yeah,
you
when
know,
they get older, I'll
don't
give them
wait,
that.
bro. I promise you, don't wait. Let's start planting that seed now. It doesn't
Yeah,
hurt. It doesn't hurt to have the talk. Trust me, man. It's. I mean, the earlier the better, man. I wish I had this knowledge. Yesterday's show we were talking about this. I asked, if you could take your knowledge from now and put it in your younger self, would you? My co-host was like, no. I was like, I would, man.
I would.
I definitely would, man. Yes, it's a cheat code. Yes, obviously it's a cheat code, but it's something that if we had parents that set us up better, or had this knowledge, or had this understanding, this information, that it would have benefited us so much. And
Not
it's
only
on
that,
us.
I don't. I also don't want to put the blame 100% on our parents, because their situations were different as well. Sometimes
No,
life took us it took them in the way it had to go. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So the fault can 100% be theirs. You know what I'm saying? The things
No,
we're
but it's
going
just a
through now
cycle. It's
was never going to exist back then.
right. Right. And when I say put the blame on the parents, I'm saying
Yeah,
like
no,
it's
yeah, I
their,
know.
I'm not saying like it's their fault. It's just like, like they can't teach us what they don't know.
100%.
You understand? So it's our responsibility to try to like make sure that our kids don't have the same struggles or the same worries or concerns that we had coming up, because we just didn't have access to, I guess, the knowledge, or the concept, or these ideas that were foreign to us. For us, it was just about get a job, work, and till you're old, and then retire, and that's all we knew. And I
yeah.
think it's time we break that mold and teach our kids about becoming entrepreneurs, and investing in stuff that's gonna make their
Putting your
lives
name on something.
yeah,
And
exactly.
there's really no lesson plan behind that. Like you just said, it was
Hmm.
more, go to school, work hard, retire,
And
and
that's
that's it.
it.
What
Yeah,
what
yeah, yep.
what's the planning
Yeah.
behind that? Because at the end of the day, they don't really set you up for the tough roads that you have to go through. At the
Hmm.
end of the day, everybody had their own path. Um, you just have to find a way. What, like Joey said earlier, what works better for you.
Hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah. So with that said, man, I think we covered a lot in today's show, man. No, no,
Yeah,
seriously,
man.
man. It was a really,
Sorry, I
really,
came in a
really good
little late.
topic.
Came in a little late.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right, man.
My son's over here laughing.
Ricky, hi, Ricky.
Hi! What's up?
What's going on, Papa? That's my little man right there.
Ricky. He always right next to me, always.
Yeah, that's my guy right there. Yes, I hope we learned something from each other today, and I hope it's something that we can definitely instill in the next generation of our family. Fabian keeps bouncing. He got he got that Sprint Wi-Fi or something, man. Something's going on.
He lives in Brooklyn. He lives in Brooklyn. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. He lives in Brooklyn.
What Brooklyn's the dead zone over there?
Yeah. He lives in a brand new building, but he lives in Brooklyn.
Yeah, man. So again, man, I want to thank you, Renaissance, for showing up today. Appreciate you, Fabian, for coming through. My brother X-Man right here for coming through, man. We had a really, really good conversation. And like I said, man, this platform is about, being able to have these conversations, man. We're not professionals. We just can only share our experiences, and hopefully we can hear from your experiences and inspire each other, man. So with that said, man, like, we don't always have to agree, but damn it, we should always be able to talk. Again, man, you guys can find Renaissance in the description of this video, the link to his YouTube channel, and I think he has a Twitch also, right? I'll also plug that into the description. You guys check him out. He also has a podcast. When tell us a little bit about your podcast, and when does it air? And
well,
what's it
we
about?
go live. We go live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. It's really us just shooting the shit, playing games, talking shit that's happening in the world, not talking shit, but in our own environment. You know what I'm saying? Basically what you're doing here, but it's never one topic. We talk about anything that's going on in our lives, whether personal, not personal, anything. Like, nothing's off topic. Everything's raw, nothing's scripted. We just shoot the shit like we do when no one was recording. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, we all sit in a room getting in hours. You know what I'm saying? The stream goes like this because we're just doing what we always do. You know what I'm saying? We being who we are.
Yeah, but definitely, let me know when you ever need a guest on your show, man. You want to talk some ish? Yo, I can do that. I can do that all day, every day.
I'm gonna hit you up because I'm gonna need
send me the link too,
back on my shit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So with that, so what's the name of the podcast again? It's
a Buy a Ticket podcast. Buy the Ticket podcast.
Buy the Ticket podcast. The YouTube channel is Conspiracy of Awareness. Check them out. Like I said, the link is in the description below, man. And with that said, man, you guys have a fantastic evening. Renaissance, X-Men, stay after the show so I can talk to you guys for a little bit.
Word.
And see you guys next time.